Hello, my friends. Welcome back. How was your weekend? We're going to start a little bit differently from now on if you all are okay with this. Our Goodwill has been remodeled, and I took a peep inside to see what we would be paying for with the new prices as well. It is really nice, and I found a few goodies. This is one of them. It's like a quote. Pick one every morning, no picking two or trying again for a better one. The one you get is meant for the day. So we're going to start our videos off this way. We're going to pick a quote and we're just going to, keep that with us throughout the day. And I'm going to pull out this little thing inside that I found. I tried to look this up to see if I could purchase another one of these. It's Meredith Robertson, Jars of Joy, and I could not find any information on her. Jars of Joy are a daily reminder to live fully in each moment and stay positive. The quotes can be shared, tucked away. No matter how you use them, they will uplift you and inspire you to be the best you can be. I thought this was so unique, and I just wanted to add it into my videos. So I found two jars. They were taped together, but I guess they're the same exact thing. I'm not really sure. But we're going to pick one out and we're going to read it. Okay, we either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same. And then it gives down at the bottom, Carlos Castrata. Not really sure. I don't want to chop that up. But let's do this, at the beginning of our videos. If you like that, then let me know in the comment section below. If you don't, then we won't do it. I just thought it would be really neat. And here's the other jar that I found. And what we're going to do is we're going to stick this one that we already read inside of that jar. And then I'm going to try to put the other ones and see if I could fit them down into this jar right here. Yes, it's a little bit snug in there, but it works. And then that's how we'll do that. When we read one, we'll put it in our other jar over here. And I'm just going to get a Sharpie, and I'm going to mark on this one right here. Let's just put red on it. And then that way we'll know once it gets a little bit fuller which is which. Okay, let's get to our project for the day. Now, when I went to the Goodwill, I found this beautiful tray right here. And I'm ready for some home decor pieces, you all. How about you? Are you okay with that? Let's make this week all about home decor. Okay, I'm going to take this Mod Podge right here, and we're going to start by sealing our tray with the Mod Podge. So I'm just going to take this brush, and I'm going to brush on this Mod Podge into our tray. And I'm going to go up the edges of the tray as well. But I'm not going to touch the top of the tray because we have other things that we're going to do to the tray. So we're going to start right here and brush this sealer into the tray. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to place one of the iron-ons into this tray and some resin to seal our transfer. So we need to go ahead and put this sealer on our wood tray so that when we put the resin over it, it won't bubble up on us. So we're going to just go ahead and seal it up right quick. I wanted to let y'all all know that my kitchen light went out in my kitchen, and I have one of those flat panel lights that uses the LED tube lights, and we went to Home Depot to look at one to replace it in my kitchen. And did y'all know you can get a panel light with "Hey Google" in it, and you can say, "Hey Google, turn my light on," and it turns the light on. "Hey Google, change my light color, and it'll change the colors of the light. I thought, oh my goodness, so that's just too fancy for me. I could not believe that. and all the different ones that they had. I never knew you could get lights like that. I mean, I knew that you could get Hey Google, you know, in your house, and you could, you know, tell it different things, but I didn't know that you could get a kitchen panel light with Hey Google in it. Lord have mercy. I tell you. They were neat, though. I give it that. Okay, here's our piece that we're going to place into this tray. And this is the yin and yang symbol. And for those of you that don't know what that means, it's the balance between two opposing forces or elements. It represents the idea that seemingly contradictory forces can actually be complementary and necessary for harmony and balance. And my daughter loves yin and yang, so I'm making this tray for her. So we're going to go ahead and, since we've sealed our tray, I have 40 milliliters of resin here, and it's Let's Resin Epoxy. And we're going to go ahead and drop in some of this glitter mix here. It's one of my mix glitters that I make myself with extra fine and some of the octagon pieces and some of the other glitters. And I just mix it into one. And I'm going to go ahead and stir it up into my resin. And I think this glitter will really go good with the iron-on that we're going to put in here, because there's a little bit of gold in our piece. And I want to bring that gold out a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and line our tray with this color. And then that way when we throw our piece over it, just around the edges will be gold. I'm going to spray a little bit of alcohol in here. And then we'll go ahead and drop this in. I hope this is going to be enough to cover the tray. No, this is not 40 milliliters. This is 60 milliliters. I'm sorry. This is 60 milliliters of resin. And we don't want to put too much resin in here, because we don't want our tray to be, you know, really heavy. You know, because it's already a nice piece to begin with. So I don't want to make it super heavy. So we need to be mindful and keep our layers very, very thin. So I'm going to go ahead and heat up this resin in here, and then take this popsicle stick, and I'm going to drag some of it to the edges. But you need to be very careful going to that edge, because we don't want to make it come up the edge, because then it's going to look, you know, it's not going to look good if we have, you know, glitter going up the sides of the tray. Unless we do the whole side of the tray with glitter. And I'm not doing that. I'm just wanting to line the bottom of the tray with glitter. So we don't want to scoot that glitter up parts of the edges and it look tacky. So I'm being very careful, pushing it to the edge and not brushing it upward. I'm just heating that resin up a little bit more. And I'm going to try to get the rest of it out of the cup, because I see a little dent in the tray where it needs a little bit more resin. So I'm going to put it right about right there in that area that I seen it. And I'm going to use my heat gun around that area. I'm just really paying attention to the edges of the tray. I don't want any bubbles to be on the edges. Now we're going to spray it with a little bit of alcohol. And now we're back. And that has cured. I thought about going ahead and placing our piece on that. But the more I rubbed my hand, it was a little bit rough from the glitter. So I didn't think that was a good idea. So I didn't want to put another layer in here, because we're going to have to put another layer when we put our yin and yang in here. But I had to do it. I was too afraid to go ahead and lay that piece over that glitter, because it was rough. It wasn't smooth. And I didn't think it would lay down for me, you know, perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and go in with this other layer of resin and coat that glitter so it's not rough. We want a smooth finish to lay our iron-on down. So I'm just heating it up, popping some of those surface bubbles, making sure I get it all around the tray. I'm going to spray a little alcohol, and now we're back. And that has cured. So now we have a smooth surface to put our iron on. So I'm going to trim it up just a little bit on the edges. And there, see, I trimmed it up. It looks a whole lot better, and I won't have a mess to clean up afterward. Because the more extra you leave on your piece, you know, it's going to leave it on there when you put that heat on it. And you'll be able to see it. So I try to trim off as much as I can. Now I'm trying to get my iron-on in the tray just right. I don't want it to be more to the left, more to the right. So I'm going to take out my measuring tape here, and I'm going to make sure that it is placed in the tray just right. And it's looking like it's about 1 inch from the tray on each side. So I need to pull it up just a hair. And now let's see if I've got it right. And that looks good. So now we don't want that to move at all. Now, we're going to try something new here. We're going to try to use my Cricut iron-on thing to see if it will work in this tray. The last time I done one of these, someone in my comment section, I'm not sure who it was, told me to try to use some kind of iron, you know, to do this. And I thought, okay, well, I've got a Cricut iron, one of the tiny ones. So we're going to give it a go and see if this will make the job a whole lot easier. So I did let my little Cricut iron heat up, and I'm just moving it around, but I'm noticing that I'm going to have to stay in one section just for a few seconds because it's not, you know, just to make sure that it's adhered to our tray. See how I'm staying there just for a second, but I'm still moving? You don't want to stay in one place for too long, but you need to stay there just for a second or two. And when you see that film on the top release from your piece, you know that it has adhered to your tray. Now we're going to let it cool and see if this worked. Okay, our tray is cool. Now let's see if we can peel it up and if it worked. Oh my goodness, y'all. This was so much easier. Now, if you pull that film up and some of your piece is trying to come up too, but it's not adhered to the paper, don't go any further. Get your heat and put it back on there, because if you leave it like that, when you put your resin over it, that piece that you left like that is going to fly up, and you're going to be able to see it in your resin. So get your heat and make sure it's adhered down completely before you go any further. So now I'm just going to travel the edges of my piece, and I'm going to use my little Cricut tool here to pick up the edges. Now we've got another little area here that when I peeled the paper up, it wasn't stuck to the paper, but it wasn't adhered to my tray either. So I need to make sure that I get that heat back on it to make sure that it is adhered to my tray. So I'm getting my little heat back on it. And now I'm going to try to lift it and see. And we are good to keep moving. There's another little section that's trying to come up, so I'm going to put a little bit of heat on it. And then we're going to see if we can keep going. And I'm taking it real slow. I don't want to go fast. You want to go real slow when you're taking this top film off. And I'm just going to take my Cricut tool and I'm going to get right there in the edge and lift it and pull. Real slow. I'm going to lift it. And I keep my tool under it and I keep going around. See, I stick that tool right under that lip of that and I go around. Okay, we've got completely around it. Now let's see if the center is ready to come up. Everything is adhered. Now I gotta tell y'all, if you have one of these little irons right here, that's the way to lay these iron-ons in anything, any of your resin pieces. That was so simple. It didn't take me long at all. And I only had 3 sections where I had to run that little iron back over it. So this is definitely the way to go to do this, you guys. I'm going to cut my little iron off and I'm going to set it to the side. And I'm going to let my tray cool a little bit more before we move on. But I love it. It looks beautiful. Now, I want to make this tray look, you know, like I need to bring some of that gold out in my tray. So I'm going to take my little rub-on colorants here. It's just the ones that you rub them on, like the gold. You know how you see people outline their pieces in gold and stuff? This is just another way to do it. These are rub-ons. And I had these stuck back in my craft room. I haven't used them in a long time. But I was watching, oh goodness, what? Beth at, oh, I can't remember, Artistic Creations. And she was using it. And it made me think, oh my goodness, I have some of that. So I pulled it out. And I'm going to go ahead and use it to make my tray look a little bit more weathered and match, you know, because the tray does look that way out on the edges of it. So we're just going to blend in this gold here and make it look even better. And I just take my finger and I dip it in there and I rub it on. And you burnish it on, basically. And you can get these off of Amazon, if they still have them. I'm pretty sure they do. I know what I'll do. If anybody's interested, I'll go look for them, and if I can find them, I'll put the link in my description box for you. Okay. And I'm just rubbing it on there, and I'm burnishing it with my fingers. And the more I burnish it, it brings out a little bit of shine to it. And it's beautiful. The camera doesn't really pick up how beautiful it really is. But I love this stuff. It's amazing. And I'm so glad I watched Beth's channel the other day when she used this. Because I had totally forgotten that I had some stashed away in my craft room. I have like 4 different little paint things of these. And they are wonderful. And I'm going to take my little, this little towel I'm using. It's one of those real terry cloth ones that's really, really soft. And I'm just kind of burnishing it a little bit with my towel to kind of bring it out a little bit more. And we're going to have to do the sides of the tray too to make it match. The sides of the tray, you know, have a little bit of gold on them, but we want to make the whole tray match. See, it already has a little bit of gold on the side. But we're going to go ahead and add this to the sides as well. And then there's some little cracks there that I can't get into. And I have this brush that's super, super soft. You know how like a baby's toothbrush is? This is kind of like that. But it's a craft one. And we're going to take that brush. You'll see me grab it here in a minute. And we'll get in those cracks and crevices that I can't reach with my finger. and make sure that it totally all matches. I hope my daughter loves this tray. She's probably going to have a fit. She's fixing to get into a new place, and I thought this would be, you know, a great addition for her new little place that she gets into. So now I'm going to take that little brush and I'm going to brush it around and get it in the cracks and crevices that my finger can't get into and reach. And this brush works great doing this. Can you see how it looks? It's beautiful. The camera's not picking it up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and put this up because I am finished with the top and the sides. Let's take a look at the sides again. You probably really can't tell it, but it's really beautiful. I love it. And you can use this stuff on your mixed mold pieces. That's what I seen Beth using it on, and that's what made me think that I had it. Now we have to protect our iron-on that we placed in the tray. So I have 40 milliliters of resin in here. No, it's not 40. I did, it's 80 milliliters. I did 40 of A and 40 of B. So there's 80 milliliters of resin in this cup. And I did figure out that that's what will fully cover this tray. And I'm going to scrape my cup out just a little bit. And get that first little bit in there. And then I scrape my cup again. But I look at it and it had bubbles on it. So I just decided to leave that in the cup because I don't want to fight with those bubbles. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this resin up and get it to move around a little bit more for me before I grab one of my tools and make sure that it is drawn to the edges really good. And pop any of the surface bubbles. But man, look at that tray pop. When that resin got over it, it just made that piece it's just beautiful. I think this is so pretty. So now I'm going to take my little silicone tipped tool here. It looks like a little bitty spatula. I get these from the Dollar Tree, and they are one of the best tools to have in your craft room if you do resin. And I'm just pulling that resin, you know, into my spaces that don't have resin, and I'm moving really slow doing it so I do not incorporate any bubbles into my piece. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to make sure that that resin covers this whole tray. So in order for me to be sure of that, I need to, you know, take this tool and make sure that I've got enough resin in this tray before I cover it and get out of my craft room. And now I'm just taking that this silicone tool and I'm pushing those bubbles that I can see. I'm giving them a little nudge so they'll release from the bottom and come on and float to the top. I didn't see many, but I did see a few. And now I'm going to go ahead and pop those bubbles and heat the resin up again before we spritz a little alcohol and cover this and get on out of here. And I see something in there, so I just grabbed me a little toothpick and got it out of there. Now we're going to, I don't have anything big enough to cover this tray because it's pretty big. So I just took some of this paper and laid it over it. Now I'm back. It's the next morning and I'm taking a look at the tray, inspecting it, and it looks great. I see no bubbles. It's beautiful. Now we have two more things to do to our tray. We've got to seal that gold that we put on here. So I'm going to use my Mod Podge, and I want it to be matte. I don't want it to be glossy for the look that I'm going for. And we're going to go ahead and seal this and finish it off. And then I have some handles here that I got from Hobby Lobby. They were $4.99 a piece, but I paid, got them at a clearance price. I'm not really sure what that price was, but I did not pay full price for them. And I think they will really, really add a nice touch to this tray. What do you guys think? I kind of fought with this a little bit. Handles or no handles? Handles or no handles? But I really, really went more with putting the handles on this tray. And they don't have any holes in them. We don't want to start drilling in this beautiful tray. So these, fit best with this. I can glue the handles on there, easy peasy, and just go. And here's our tray. What do you guys think of it? Do you like it? Let me know in the comment section below. It's about that time, my friends, so let's wrap this up with a sweet goodbye. God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow. Let's beat the heat. Keep those outside animals with fresh water and some shade. If you see something that's not right, say something. Stay hydrated. Take care of you. Goodbye.